In the name of God, in this series of lectures, we will continue our discussion about DES, Data Encryption Standard. We described a bit about the history of this and the main feature of this algorithm, and we explained that different block size and different key size can be used in this standard, and each block size and key size will yield different level of security. We will describe how it could be happened. Let me move to slide. We explained these slides in the previous lectures, and we explained that we have a master key. From this master key, we try to generate several subkeys, and each subkey is used in one round of DES algorithm. Today we will explain how it will be happen and how it works. It was the history about this. Okay, we explained that normally the input size is a block of 64 bits which will produce the output size of 64 bits as well. Between two input and output, we have several stages and phases that needs to be repeated. 16 rounds, something like Fister network. Before those rounds, we have IP initial permutation and IP power -1, the inverse of initial permutation. And here in this slide, you can see the general description of this encryption algorithm. On the left side, you can see in the red boxes that we have initial permutation IP, and at the end of this algorithm we have the inverse IP that which yield some more permutation in this algorithm. Okay, and on the right side we can see how we build each subkey from our master key. I will explain it in the next slides. In fact, you can see that the input size is a block of plain text with the size of 64 bits. After initial permutation, we have, in fact, we have again a 64-bit in fact output, and this output which be repeated after each round, the first round, the second round, and till the last round. And you can see for our master key, the size of master key is 64 bits. This 64 bits is first of all changed into 56 bits, and after permutation choice 2 we will have 48 bits, the size of our subkeys in each round, the size of key 1, 2 till the 16 subkey. Okay, but how it could be happen, or in general way, what we can do in each step. The first one is initial permutation. In fact, as you can see in this slide, you can see our initial permutation, and you can compare it in a general view. Here you can see that in the first place we have the bit of 58, and then we have the bit of 15. As you can see here, this is our initial vector. At the first place we have 58 here, and then we have 15, and so on. And as you can see, the first one is placed in the 13 here. You can see in this slide. And for the final permutation, or for IP power -1 in the last stage, in the previous, as you have seen in the previous slide, you need to do the inverse method. What does it mean? It means the first bit will be replaced in the place of 58, the second in the place of 15, and we need to put the 13 in the place of 1. This is our IP initial permutation, and also our final in fact permutation at the last stage. Okay, it is not so complicated. Okay, again we return back on this general description. On the left side we have the IP here and the inverse IP, as I explained in the previous slide. After passing these 64 bits of plain text from each round, the first round, second, and so on, we have more and more confusion and diffusion, which is necessary and the fundamental core of this algorithm. Okay? And for our keys, from 64 bits, we will extract a 56-bit key, and from each one we will extract the next 56 size keys. Okay, and in each step we will have a circular shift, left circular shift. In fact, the difference between each sub key here, as you can see, is a circular shift. For your input in the key stage, in fact, we have a 56 bit, which will convert it to 48 bits. It will be happen after a permutation choice, which is shown by P permutation choice 2, number 2. In fact, in permutation, as you know, we just change the place of our bits. Okay? And sometimes we need to reduce the number of bits as well. In fact, in each round of the algorithm, we have permutation as well as substitution, okay, which is really essential. Okay, now let's take a look in more detail and explain what will happen in each step. Okay. In each round, we will have 32 bits. In fact, our input, as you can remember, is split in two blocks, the left side and the right side. Each side consists of 32 bits. Okay? You know that the right side is very simply replaced in the left side of the next step. But what will happen for the right side of the next step? Let's see. As you can see here, let me, if I can show up. I don't know how I can increase the size of my slides. Anyway, after entering these 32 bits, we will have an expansion phase, which will expand our 32 bits into 48 bits. Then these 48 bits will be XORed with our sub key, for instance key I. Okay, they are XORed together here, and after this, doing this XOR, again this 48 bits will be converted into 22 bits. And finally, after permutation, these 22 bits will be XORed with the left side, with the left block of our plain text in this step. Okay? Hence, we have several expansion and substitution and also permutation in each round, as you see in this slide and in the next slides. Okay, substitution, and then another permutation, 22 into 22 bits, and finally XORing with the left side of our block.